get going on gardening, and then I just won't shut up.
Yeah.
Just keep going.
Hello, everyone. Welcome. Happy first day of the Once Upon a Readathon. I have my absolutely lovely, I want to call you a co-host, but really you are the creator of this readathon. I have Hannah with me. And we're so excited. So let us know in the chat. What are you going to be reading? Grab a coffee, snack, tea, water. Let us know if you are grabbing a snack and what you're going to be eating and reading. I just made a coffee, which is probably a bad idea because it's 4 p.m, but
it's still early enough.
Yeah, it'll be fine.
That's still early enough.
Hannah, what are you going to be reading?
I just finished my first book of the readathon like 2 hours ago. I finished The Pirate's Witch, which was basically, we were talking about it backstage. It was just pure smut. So I'm hoping that this one, the fourth wing, I'm getting to the fourth wing, will be like a bit more substantial, but still kind of scratch that fantasy romance itch. But like, I'm kind of done with the smut for just a second, just like a moment.
Yeah, just take a little break. But
and then I also have the Live Ship Traders series. I'm reading the third book in that one.
Stunning. So stunning that you've already finished a book for the readathon.
It wasn't that hard. Well,
I mean, smut, to be fair, you started it last night and you can just read that and it's just easy.
Yeah.
I might switch between the two, but I'm definitely going to start Daughter of the Pirate King. I took off the dust jacket because I will not be reading with a dust jacket on. So I have to start that as my physical book. And then I do have the audiobook for What Lies Beyond the Veil, which I started yesterday. And I might switch between the two if I feel like I want to scroll on my phone and listen to an audiobook.
So I know you were saying that you had read that other, what was it?
The Holly Renee book.
Yeah. Which one do you think you're liking better? Like, but I know you already finished the Holly Renee one, but because they're so similar.
Yeah, A Kingdom of Stars and Shadows. They're very, very similar. I think I liked A Kingdom of Stars and Shadows more right from the beginning, but I really like the male lead in What Lies Beyond the Veil right now. I'm not crazy about the female main character, and I think that's why I liked the Holly Renee book just slightly better, but we'll see where this goes because they're starting to get a little bit spicy right now, and I'm like, okay, T, love this.
Yeah, I know Jess loves that series. And then she also really liked The Coven by her, Harper Elwoods, is it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I really want to try her writing, so.
Yeah. Yay, Team Pirates. Yeah, let us know what team you're on as well. Oh my gosh, popcorn is such an elite reading snack. And continuing with the Ship of Bones and Teeth.
How are you liking it?
Yeah. How do you have a reading snack that you always go to?
I'm a tea drinker. I have a huge tea cabinet. And I don't know. Lately I've been into ice cream.
Yes.
I've been having a lot of ice cream. I think it's like the summertime thing. Like it's getting hot outside and I want ice cream. But I am actually not really a big late night snacker.
Yeah, I am. I definitely am. But I've been loving we usually get the Tonight Dough, but it's like Ben and Jerry's, their little like cookie dough bites. So like cookie dough ice cream bites. And those
I love their half-baked.
Yeah. It's so good.
And their what is it? The Dublin mudslide. That one is so good.
Oh, I haven't tried that one.
It's good.
Oh my gosh. Assassination Classroom manga. I haven't heard of that manga. I'm going to see how far I can get in While You Were Dreaming. Yay, Two Pirates. Gonna start It Happened One Summer by Tessa Bailey. I've heard incredible things about that book.
I loved that book. I actually liked both of them equally. Like, I don't think I could pick a favorite. I like them both equally, I think.
Love that.
Yeah, I really like them both. I have her newest one, the one about the girl that has like a flower shop, I think. It came
Mm-hmm.
out in the spring, and I really
Mm-hmm.
would like to read it, but I don't read a lot of contemporary like rom-com. Maybe like 2 a year.
Yeah, I'm not a huge rom-com girly. Usually around Christmas time. Like that's when I will read Christmas rom-coms because it's like watching a Hallmark movie in your head and I'm like, yeah, I can get down with this. But any other time of the year, I'm like fantasy romance or bust.
Yeah. Yep. Or dark
Finishing
romance.
up the readathon and it's real self-care. Love it. Favorite nonfiction. Currently the Popeyes drive-through, but I'm reading The Right Move by Liz Tomford Bailey. I love that.
Yeah.
Hello. We'll be finishing the last 100 pages of Ashes and the Star-Cursed King, and then I will be choosing my first book of the readathon. Okay, absolutely stunning. So many people are finishing books.
I know, right?
That's absolutely amazing. I need to get on this finishing book train. Wicked reading. I just watched your TBR video earlier today. Reading Into the Drowning Deep and snacking on chocolate and peanut butter Oreos. That's
Ooh. Wait, the Oreos themselves are chocolate? Like there's peanut butter on the inside? Or are you dipping your Oreos in peanut butter? See, I always dipped my Oreos in peanut butter, but now they have like a million kinds. So I'm wondering, is
yeah.
there a new variety I don't know about?
Yeah,
Just
let us know. I got it for when was it? For Easter, my mother-in-law sent us chocolate dipped Oreos and those were stunning. Like they were just coated in chocolate and then it was the Oreo on the inside. But mixing peanut butter in there is
have you
stunning.
ever had them fried?
Yes, actually we went to the Orange County Fair and we had fried Oreos and they were so good. And fried pickles. Those are like my two fair foods that I go to.
Oh, really?
Mhm.
I love funnel cake. I've had fried Oreos once and it was amazing.
Yeah, absolutely stunning. Started Daughter of the Pirate King, and it's interesting. I'm intrigued. I love that. Reading Smolder.
Nice. Dragon shifters.
So many Daughter of the Pirate Kings. I love that. It's one of the books on my TBR that isn't a library book, so I'm going to try to get through my library ones first so they don't go overdue. That is a strategy if I've ever heard one. I wish
That's
I was
like
as organized
a
as that.
responsible person. Me, I'm just like, I get a bunch and then I forget they're there and then I just keep renewing them and I'm like, wait.
Exactly. If you want a bigger plot, go with What Lies Beyond the Veil. That makes sense.
That's what I've gathered because they're longer. And I have heard the other one. Oh my goodness. The other one, the one I have read, you know what I'm talking about. I've heard that one's more
Um,
smutty. The one that's like it.
the one that's like
What
what's it?
lies beyond the bell?
A Kingdom of Stars and Shadows.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah. I get very confused with the a blank of blank and blank like titles. There's so many of them and I can't remember any of them.
They're all completely like jumbled in my head at this
Yeah.
point.
I totally agree.
Completely.
Yeah. A Kingdom of Stars and Shadows. I feel like it was a little shorter and yeah, it was definitely more spicy, like spicy focused. Whereas so far, I'm 45% of the way through What Lies Beyond the Veil. And so far, it's all been like set up in plot. So it does seem more structured, which is nice. Oh my gosh, we're repping Team Pirates in the chat. What if you're Team Dragons, Team Gin, Team Mermaids, let us know. Gonna be reading The Devil in the Dark Water. Lots of water setting horror books as well. I found are really popular, which is so much fun.
I really liked Into the Drowning Deep, and it makes me want to try more water horror.
Yeah.
But I think for this readathon, the only water horror I have on my TBR is like the prequel to it. So
I tried Into the Drowning Deep. I feel like I might have been impacted by the audiobook because I was only listening to the audio. and I found that it was very science-y in the
It
beginning.
is.
And so I got really lost. I'm like, where is the scary? I'm not here for the science.
It's a lot of setup and it's a slow start for sure.
Yeah.
So I agree with that. But then it's like it gets really good, and I don't know how to, but it definitely, I thought so too when I was first reading it. It's a slow start with a lot of science.
Yeah.
I feel like it's equal parts sci-fi, equal parts horror.
Yeah. That's I
There's
feel like
just
that's
more horror in the second half, so you get more sci-fi in the first half.
I completely agree. I think that's a perfect description. I think that we said, and Hannah, correct me if I'm wrong, if you were 20% of the way into a book, like any more than 20%, and then you finish it during the readathon, like that's fine. But if you were more than 20% or like halfway through a book, it didn't count if you finished it.
50%.
Oh, 50.
So yeah, you can, as long as you are, before last night when we started sprints, if you were like, when we started sprints, if you were 49% into a book, you could keep reading it and count it towards the readathon.
Okay, perfect.
So yeah. Because honestly, I read so many books at once, so I just figure as long as you're less than halfway through.
That makes sense. Yay, Team Dragons! I'm happy to see some Team Dragons in the chat. Also, Crown of Midnight, I hope they are enjoying it. I just finished Air of Fire. When did I read it? Last week or maybe the week before? And it was
That's
stunning.
the one I need to read. I've read, the last one I read was Crown of Midnight.
Air of Fire has been my favorite of the series so far. Like, so much happens and you meet new people and it gets so good.
That's what I hear. I hear that's like when everything kind of starts popping off.
Yeah. It's a manga about these kids in a reject class having to assassinate their teacher who's a giant octopus. Okay, say less. I'm doing Adventure-a-thon and I'm an assassin, so I needed a book with assassins, so it worked. I love that.
Who's doing an Adventure-a-thon? That sounds fun.
Yeah, there's a lot of I know a lot of people in our Discord were saying like, I'm doing 3 readathons for June, and they all sound incredible.
That's awesome.
Ahoy mateys, Team Pirates, we're crushing this chat. Yes, the cookie is graham cracker and the cream is split with chocolate and peanut butter. It's like a Nutter Butter but better, and I've also dipped normal Oreos in peanut butter.
That sounds really good.
You are an elite snacker, and we're all very jealous of your
seriously.
Hello, almost done with Harrow the Ninth. Gonna finish tonight. Fried pickles are absolutely delish. We stand fried pickles.
I love fried pickles.
Keep going to the library and getting books when I already have a stack of unread library books. You know, it's the little things in life that bring us joy.
Yep.
Team Merfolk!
Hello.
Your TBR was not nice for you this readathon. Almost no water books. That's so sad.
Hopefully you could like get some other ones too, like BIPOC or LGBT or something like that. Or if you have like dragon books or djinn books, and you can just like attack.
Yeah. I have a love-hate relationship with water to begin with. And if I read a water horror, I'll never go in again. That's fair. Don't don't be nice to yourself. Be kind to yourself. Oh my gosh, is this your first time reading Akasef? And if so, I'm going to need you to DM me all of your reactions. Live reactions.
I have not ever reread that series, and I would really like to.
Oh my gosh. I reread Akatar and Akamath a couple months ago. And the second time around is a very different experience because you know so much going into those like first 2 books. But I still need to reread Akasef.
Yeah, that's my favorite, but very close second is Akamath. But
yeah, this makes me so happy. Okay, please let us know all of your spoiler-free thoughts in case anyone else hasn't read it in the chat, but I need to know. I love Shadows in Throne of Glass, but honestly, probably won't get to it for a while. Yeah, my next book that I have to read is Queen of Shadows. That has wyverns in it. Do wyverns count as dragons? you could attack other teams or earn points if you're Team Dragon. Team Dragon, reading the book that wouldn't burn. Oh my gosh. No, there's still people who haven't read ACOTAR.
Yeah.
Maggie said last night that she hasn't read ACOTAR.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, ACOMAF, it's so good. That's fair.
Honestly, I feel that because like sometimes when things are so hyped up, it's so hard to read them. Like I'm shocked that I'm reading Fourth Reign right now because I didn't think I would, because generally if something gets that hyped, I'm just like, I haven't read Serpent and the Wings of Night because hype scares me.
It scares me too. I feel like when I read House of Sky and Breath when it first came out, because I had pre-ordered it and just started reading it, it actually made my reading experience worse, and I ended up DNFing it. And I like love Sarah J. Maas, but I was like, I need this hype to die down so that I can have my own opinions about it and not just feel like I'm being screamed at and like influenced by a lot of people. And I feel like that also kind of happened to me with Jade City, because that was another one that it's very, very hyped. A lot of people that love it really, really love it. And it was impacting my reading experience. So.
I'm scared of Jade City because it was so hyped. It's been so hyped for the last couple of years. Yeah. And then that happened to me with the House in the Cerulean Sea. I got so hyped for it that I was overthinking and I started annotating it. And like annotating is really cool, but I don't do it. I personally, it distracts me. So I don't annotate. So I was like overthinking it, thinking I had to like look into all these things with it and really notice everything that was amazing about it because it was so hyped and must be. So, you know what I'm saying? But really it's just like a cozy fantasy, and it has commentary in it, but like, so yeah, I ended up DNFing it and I picked it up a year later and really enjoyed it, gave it 4 stars, but I had to wait for that like hype train to slow down.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. The tension is tensioning. Oh my gosh, Mistborn. Love that. Oh my gosh, that's surprising. I feel like by the last maybe 75% of the way through ACOTAR, when they're under the mountain, that's when I was like, oh my gosh, I
was sold by about 50% in, I would say, to ACOTAR. But like the second, honestly, like once Reese was introduced, I was just like,
yeah.
Oh, I've got a pissed off 4-year-old.
Oh no. We will start our first sprint soon if you want to go run.
They both have like runny noses right now. They have little colds.
Yeah.
So I think at nighttime especially, they've been not happy because their noses are so stuffed and stuff. So
yeah, it's not fun not being able to breathe.
Right. No.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Loved Fourth Wing, but I can see how people didn't like it. I'm excited. I'm going to read it this month. I need to like tune everyone out and not look at social media while I'm reading it. Yes, I've heard Serpent is so good. And Throne of Glass. Oh my gosh, yes. ACOMAF was so good. Okay, we are going to start our first sprint. I think we're going to I usually do 45 minutes, and then we'll do like a 5 to 10 minute break to chat, and then we'll get back into our next sprint. So let me share my screen. I have a pirate ship ambiance for us, so hopefully we like it. And happy sprinting,
everyone! Looks so good.
All right, let's play this. Hello, hello. How'd we do? Hannah, you look like you were about to take a nap.
Yeah, I was reading. I'm like just reading on my phone. I have my Kindle right next to me and I'm reading on my phone.
How's your book?
I'm really liking it.
Good.
I'm really, really liking it. Yeah. It is giving me vibes of like when I first started reading, like again as an adult, it was like a few years ago. And I think one of the first series I read and really enjoyed that wasn't like, because I read a few like paranormal romances, but my first actual like fantasy series that I read, I think was The Red Queen.
Mm-hmm.
That was one of the first ones. Stormlight was one, Caraval was one, but this is giving me Red Queen vibes. Have you read that series?
Yeah, I DNF'd Red Queen.
Oh no.
But I liked like the vibes of it. I just didn't love the characters get me. Like if I don't love characters, I'm like, I'm gonna DNF. So don't mind me.
Yeah, it's just giving me those like just really good YA fantasy vibes. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like it's
100%.
it's a solid YA fantasy so far and it's like got me hooked and I'm interested and I want to know what's going to happen next.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, that's so good. I love that. I feel like so far reading Daughter of the Pirate King has been like a brain break because I've been reading a lot of adult fantasies and not like smutty, fun, silly, goofy time adult fantasies, like actual big brain adult fantasies. So this has
Right,
been
yeah.
a really nice switch. I read 44 pages and I'm just loving it so far. It is just the essence of everything pirate that I ever wanted. So it's been a good
I want
time.
to read that.
Yeah. I'm so happy that y'all like the ambiance.
It was
Also,
so cute. I loved it.
so when the boat started like creaking, I was like, I hope that this isn't annoying people, but I was like,
No, it was so cool.
fine.
I loved it.
Also, Mary, please let me know like where you're at in
I
Akasef.
saw that and I was like, where is she?
Because the end of Akasef is literally like, oh my gosh, but there's so many parts where it's like, I'm screaming.
Mhm.
Just finished Crown of Midnight, and okay, wow. Wow. I love that you're just back to back marathoning that series. Also, Air of Fire is just amazing. Oh my gosh, stunning. Stopped right before space. Read exactly 40 pages.
Nice.
Hello. Made some progress on the romantic agenda. Instead of It Happened One Summer, it seems more fitting to start Pride Month with some A-Strap. Love that.
Nice.
Beautiful. Yeah, how many of y'all have done the challenge so far?
Oh my gosh, some of them are so cool.
I have to do that. I have to figure out how to make a volcano out of books.
There was one that put like candles. Oh, that was this one.
Oh, that's so cool. Yeah, I saw that
This is like
one.
really cool. And then this one's really cool. It's kind of like what I imagined when I wrote it.
Mhm.
So I thought that was pretty cool. And then there's actually a whole bunch. Um, there was another one. I don't know where it went. Maybe it was on Instagram that I saw it. It was probably on Instagram. But yeah, it's been fun to see those come in.
Yeah. Came in during the last 12 minutes, so I read 10 pages of Blood Mercy. I have heard amazing things about Blood Mercy, and I really want to read it. So let us know how you're liking it.
I just tried to buddy read that with Kristen and Daphne.
How'd it go?
We all DNF'd it.
It's really long, and I heard that the world building is kind of intense.
That wasn't the problem. Like the with us, the issue, and it was the same issue with all three of us, was the writing style.
Mm,
So, and that's like really like individual, right? Well, most things are, but the
yeah.
writing style, it felt like overly complicated to where I felt like I kept having to reread sentences, and we were all having to reread sentences a lot, and it was
Mm,
just a lot. So, but I've also like a lot of people that have really similar taste to me for fantasy romance have adored it.
yeah.
So, I don't know, but yeah, we all had issues with the writing style.
That's so interesting. I know Rachel from Raven-Haired Reader read it, and she's also a huge like fantasy romance girly pop. And I find that a lot of what she likes, I also like. So she was the one who
Mhm.
like turned me on to that book.
Yep,
So
back
yeah,
on the books, and oh, and I'm reading Fourth Wing. I said the last one, sorry.
yeah,
Back in the books, and then like Ashley from A Frolic Through Fiction. I know Erin
mhm.
from Booked and Busy. They all have liked Blood Mercy.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
and
Chaos
I
Reborn.
think Abby Salter too, and me and her usually have very similar taste.
Mm. Is there an audiobook for that one? I know it's kind of like, is it indie published or is it traditionally
Pretty
published?
sure it's I'm pretty sure it's Indie or South Pub.
That's what I
I know
thought.
they
So,
changed the covers though.
yeah,
Like it got revamped,
yeah.
but I think it's still Indie or South.
Yeah. So maybe there's not an audiobook for it, but I feel like if I'm trying to get through more of a complicated writing style, reading along with an audiobook really helps me.
Oh yeah,
Finish my book. Now onto the adventures of Amina al-Sarafi. I really want to read this book.
me too. I have it.
The cover's really cool too. Hello. Happy birthday, Kristen.
Mhm. Still your birthday for another 3 hours and 45 minutes.
Read some more of The Devil in the Dark Water and started making mac and cheese for dinner.
She better be eating more cake. Those cupcakes looked amazing.
Finished editing and started reading. Love that. I need to film a video tomorrow. Um, loved the banter in Daughter of the Pirate King. Yeah. Written is a vibe. I'm vibing with them and their dynamic.
There's banter.
Mm-hmm.
I love banter.
Yeah, the dialogue is really good.
Ooh, this is going up on my TBR. I don't even think, well, it wasn't on my TBR for the readathon, but it is like I think in general on my Goodreads TBR.
Yeah. Finished 50 pages and downloaded more KU books as if I have the time. Okay,
This is a
shopping
mood.
on KU is like so fun. Like I say shopping, but like just looking through and downloading a bunch, like it's so fun.
It's a fix when you have no money
Yeah.
that you go to shop for books. Sometimes I will just like change them all out.
Yep.
I just like my KU TBR or my KU like what I have downloaded will literally like it'll change without me having probably like read anything that I had on it. I just change it out based on my mood. I love to
Mhm.
do it. I
Yep.
love it.
I do that and then I do it on Libby as well. Like late at night, if I'm like, I'm just gonna scroll through Libby and see what I can put holds on, and then all of my holds come in at the same time, and then I get stressed.
Right. I know.
Or I'm like, what even is this book? Like, why did I pick this? Absolutely stunning. Yeah, I know it's hard like talking about it because you don't want to spoil anything, but I love this for you. 30 pages read. That was a good sprint for you. Also, tell me why the first time I heard the ambience boat creaking, I thought it was a cow mooing. Yeah, like it was a little bit. I'm like, hopefully this doesn't annoy people. But it was nice, like the fire and the rain, the fire crackles and the rain. So I was like, well, stick with it.
I liked it. Yeah, it was cool. That's so funny. I didn't hear like a cow mooing, but I guess I could see that. I could see that.
If you're not expecting it and you're just like, what is this?
Right. Oh, and thank you.
Yes, please give us the updates on Blood Mercy.
I was like,
Hi, Sydney. Just during that sprint, I'll be able to finish my book, The Housemaid by Frida McFadden, in the next sprint. Love
ooh,
that.
how are you liking that? I just read that.
We're gonna do another 45 minutes. Okay, 105 pages into it, loving it. The writing style may not be for everyone, but it's my cup of tea. Love that. Thank you for
Blood Mercy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Facts. Absolutely. A lot of the issues that I have with fantasy romance is the writing style is not up to par with what I want. So super nervous about it, but happy that I'm loving it. Yeah, I love that for you.
Writing style is so, I mean, it's just so subjective too. That's why it was the weirdest thing that we all had the same issue, but
yeah,
I'm sure it was a fluke because I have such similar reading taste to so many people that have loved it. But
stunning that there is an audiobook in the works.
Oh, awesome.
Stunning. 40% done with gin and juice, and there's a lot of action and world building. Cute.
Ooh. Keep giving us updates on that because I'm very interested in that.
Is that spicy? That sounds spicy. I need to look up what that is.
It's like a KU fantasy romance.
Love that.
But there's also clean there's actually today I was like looking through. This is so funny because I was literally shopping KU today. And I was looking up retellings, like fantasy romance retellings, and I kept on like looking them up, and then I was going through like it would say what it was, and then it would say like for those who like clean fantasy romances, and I was like, what? No. And that happened to me like 5 times in the course of I don't know, like 10 minutes. I was like, clean romances on KU.
Yeah. What is this? If we wanted a clean fan row, we would read YA.
Right.
But there was a book, I'm trying to remember who the author was. Oh, Eliza Rain.
Even a lot of ways to have like really good sexual tension.
Yeah. Eliza Rain wrote the Hades Trials, and then she also wrote Court of Ravens and Ruin, which a bunch of people read when we did the Romanticy-a-thon in February, the one that I host. And she writes clean fantasy romance, but there's a lot of like plot. Like the plot is so juicy and there's so much action that goes on that I actually really like her writing in that way. But so many people were like, Tori, why would you recommend us a not spicy fantasy romance? I was like, I apologize. I formally apologize.
Bow Before the Elf Queen is like that. Like there's reference to it and stuff, but I don't remember there being any actual spice in it. But I don't know if this series will, because there's going to be more books. There's 2 books out, and I think there's at least 1 more coming. So I don't know if it's going to get spicier later or not.
Yeah, I found that I've read a couple like reverse harem series, and I find that typically in the first couple books, like 1 or 2 books, there's no spice, but later down the line there's lots of reverse harem spice, and so that's where it gets fun. And that's where I'm like, okay, for the first 1 or 2 books I can deal with like just tension because you know that it's going to go somewhere. I'm reading the Broken Bonds series right now. I've only read the first book, but I've heard that's the case with those books, is like you don't get any spice in the first one. I don't think the second either, but come the third and the fourth, it's like Ta-da!
Right. That light was a shock to my system just now. I can't get up right now to do the overhead light, so I just turned this lamp on, but
Yeah. I read a closed door contemporary romance and I almost cried of frustration. It was cute, but I also wanted to burn it. I feel that.
that happened when I read, I think it was the first was it Devney Perry? It was
Mhm.
the I keep thinking like Jasper Flats, but I feel like that's one of the books in the series. But it was like romantic suspense and it was set like on a ranch and like small town romance vibes and like it ended up being closed door. And I was like,
Mhm.
I think I still gave it 5 stars because or 4 or 5 stars, I can't remember. But, like, I really enjoyed it because of the suspense with it too, and there was good tension,
Yeah.
um, and I think I just, like, it was a mood thing,
Yeah.
but usually not.
Yeah, it depends on like what your expectations are. Yeah, like if you're expecting spice and then it's closed door, that's very irritating.
Mhm. I
Also,
never don't expect spice.
yeah. The way that this makes me want to drop absolutely everything and start reading this book right now. Oh
Oh,
my goodness.
so if you really like cinnamon roll male characters, because the hero is like a cinnamon roll kind of thing.
I love a good cinnamon roll, honestly.
That's good. Then yeah. That was the other thing that I like. I don't usually like cinnamon roll male character like the hero.
It depends on like what I'm in the mood for. Like if I'm in the mood for something that's more like cozy and sweet, then I like the cinnamon rolls, but I also do like I mean I like dark romance as well. I have a range. Were you talking about Indigo Ridge by
Yes.
Devaney Perry? Perry?
Yes.
Yeah.
Devney Perry. I think she's got 2 names, and I don't know which one is the pen name. One
Mm.
is like it starts with a W.
Cinnamon roll is like a really like sweet, loving type love interest. Like
Like
cinnamon roll is
he's not like the bad boy that you shouldn't
yeah.
pick or whatever. Like he's like the boy next door who's gonna treat you right, and he's gonna like buy you soup when you're sick, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I do not like slow burn. I need an appropriate amount of burn. Like medium burn instead of slow burn?
I don't like ultra slow burn, but I have before, but in general, I don't. Um, but like a medium to like regular slow burn, I don't know. I guess it depends.
Yeah. I think that this is maybe accurate.
Hey, like I literally just read a book that was straight up the opposite of a cinnamon roll. And it was a you said do you read dark romance? You read dark
Yeah.
romance, right?
Yeah, yeah.
It's called The Ritual.
Yeah, I've seen that cover.
Um, like he's the opposite of um a cinnamon roll.
Mhm.
And he's like my dream.
Yeah, I
Like,
usually like tall, dark, handsome, tattooed, like any love interest that's like that, absolutely. I read the Cat and Mouse duet, and Zayd Meadows is
what is
daddy.
that? I keep on hearing about I always hear people talk about Zayn. What is that?
That's from the Cat and Mouse duology. It's very unhinged. Like that is the darkest dark romance I've ever read. So just like
Yeah.
go into it knowing that, but it's like hunting and haunting Adeline, like those two books.
Oh, that one. Yeah, that's on my that's like I would from what I know, The Ritual is like similar unhingedness,
Yeah.
if that makes sense, to that one, and that's on my TBR. Like I really want to read that one. I didn't know that was called the what'd you call it? What duet?
Cat and Mouse.
Cat and Mouse. I've never
Mhm.
heard it called that. I was just here haunting Adeline. But
Yeah.
I was just talking to someone today about that book and how much I wanted to read it. Have you read
It's
both?
yeah, it's very dark. I read the first one and then I needed to take a break before the second because it just got like Spice is amazing. The relationship is amazing, but it goes into some like really, really dark topics in terms of like the plot, just the overall plot. And I was like,
Mm.
it goes into like human trafficking and child trafficking and stuff like that, which I was like, okay,
Oh.
this is a lot. So H.G. Carlton is an incredible spicy author, like dark romance author. I really want to read the one with the shark scene. Bailey, if you're still in the chat, please let us know what it's called. But there's one that's about like a criminal who's on the run and she goes to Australia and there's a spicy scene that involves sharks. And I need
Oh, are you talking about Does It Hurt?
Yeah, does it hurt? Yeah, thank you.
Have you seen Gavin's vlog on that?
No, I haven't.
Number one, I did not know that was the same author as Haunting Adeline. Number
Yeah.
one. Number two, it made me not want to read the book, but also that was hilarious. That vlog was so freaking funny. I was like, oh my God.
Yeah. H.G. Carlton's very unhinged, but honestly, if you're in the mood for it, it's a fun time.
Right. Like, I'll still probably read it. But I think if I'm going to read a book by them, it's going to be Haunting Adeline because I really, really want to read that because I do generally like super dark romances. I don't like light dark romances. Like, was it not Sophia, Sophie Lark. Sophie Lark.
Yeah.
Like her stuff to me is not dark. It's not dark enough. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like I like more darkness, more like erotic, more like taboo, more, you know?
Yeah. Have you
So
read Flock? The like Flock series?
no, but Jess was telling me to read it.
It was really good. I loved that one. I loved the first two books, but holy gaslighting. Like that relationship is so toxic, but it was really fun.
She just did a read along for that series. I don't know if they finished up the read along. I think they may have just finished up the read along.
Yeah, I think she posted, yeah, for May, I think she finished all three. All three.
Lachlan on Lachlan's comment on the Goodreads on Flock was what the flock.
Yeah, it's very toxic.
Yeah, I do want to read that. I've heard it's unhinged. She said like she wouldn't tell me because the synopsis literally says nothing. The synopsis is just why was there even a synopsis? Like
Yeah.
it told me nothing. And so she was telling me a little about, but she's like, I can't really tell you anything because it's like
Yeah.
secret society-esque, but I can't tell you why or what it's about or anything. But she gets into that. I was like, that's helpful.
Yeah. You can't like talk about it. You just have to let people experience it for themselves.
And that's kind of how the ritual was too. Like it was like secret society craziness,
Yeah.
ridiculousness. You know what I'm saying? But
Mm-hmm.
I like secret society and I like no matter what it is, it could be like anything from like a mafia to like a cult to like a secret society that controls the country kind of thing. Like I love all of them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I want to start reading. I've read a couple Mafia and I really liked them. So I need to just like dive down that rabbit hole. And then the other one that I've been wanting to read for dark romance, I completely just lost it. It'll come to me.
Which ones have you read for Mafia? I love Mafia romance.
I've only read the Sweetest Oblivion series,
Okay.
and someone did recommend to me Sophie Lark because she does a Mafia one and two, right? But that's as far as I've
I've
gotten.
read two I've read 3 of her Mafia romances. So I've read the first book in that first one that like everyone reads, like Brutal Prince. I've read Brutal
Yeah.
Prince. And it is very like I feel like it's for people that have never really read dark romance before and it's like an intro to dark or an intro to Mafia because it plays very like it reads YA new adult YA more.
Oh, interesting.
Um, but in my opinion. And then Ivan, I felt like was darker and more adult. It felt much more adult than Brutal Prince, and that's like her Bratva romance one. But I guess it's in the same world, and so I like that one more. And then I actually read a mafia romance that she co-wrote with someone, and that was like about a therapist and a prisoner who was Bratva, and she gets kidnapped by him, and that's like one of my favorite tropes. So that was awesome. That was fun. Um, I think I liked Sweetest Oblivion a lot. My favorite mafia romance is Mafia Mistress. That's
Okay,
my favorite.
I'm gonna add that one.
It's darker. It's got cliffhangers. It's the first two books, you have to read the first two to get an HEA with the first couple. Then the
Mhm.
third book is in just by itself. You get an HEA at the end for that couple. And then the
Mm.
fourth one just came out. And that
This
one's queer.
this has really high ratings. It's a
Mafia Mistress.
yeah, it's a 3.91.
I adore it. It's very kinky. If you like CNC,
Mhm.
like consent non-consent, like that's a big one in there. So um and then it's got a lot of suspense to it too, which I like action adventure suspense.
Love.
So and it's very kinky taboo. It's fiance's dad
Oh my gosh.
romance.
Stunning. Also, I can tell that me and Hannah are gonna have an issue talking. I promise we will do our next sprint soon.
Sorry, I know. Get me on like dark romance sometimes, especially right now. I'm on a dark romance mood. I'm like, I will talk about this forever.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I love it. Um, hard exterior with soft spots inside. What type of pastry is this? Maybe like a croissant.
Or like a puff pastry. Like what's that
Yeah.
one that's like a round? I don't know.
Yeah, I think puff pastry is another good one. Yeah, Cassian is kind of puppy dog. Cassian's kind of slightly cinnamon roll, but he has like a tough exterior. Yeah,
I feel like
everyone.
Cassian's kind of like the perfect mix because he's like the bad
Yeah.
guy on the outside, but he's got a hidden cinnamon roll on the inside. But
Hmm.
he's not afraid to let his bad guy freak flag fly. So,
Yeah. Looks like he would kill you, but is a cinnamon roll.
mhm,
Kevin's vlog was hysterical.
it was. It was really good. He was really funny.
Sarah Bailey is a good dark romance author, the Four Horsemen series. Oh yeah, Bailey, you recommended that one to me. Exodus was pain. Yeah, anyone who's preparing to read the Flock series, Exodus still haunts me to this day.
Was it the third one or the
Second one.
second one?
It's basically a duology. The third book is just an extended epilogue. Like the author, I'm trying to look at my shelves right now. I think I can't see who the author is, but she had said she was going to leave it at Flock and Exodus, but everyone was like screaming for kind of like an epilogue, and so she basically wrote what's it called? The Finish Line as like a
Mm,
really extended epilogue. That one was not my favorite, but I'm not a massive fan of epilogues in general.
I don't like epilogues.
Yeah. So I would recommend if you wanted to just skip the last book, you can and leave it at Exodus. I thought the first two books were really good.
I thought it was 4 books for some reason.
No.
Okay, cool. That's
Uh,
less that's good.
yeah. Magnolia Parks is one of my favorite books. I love it so much. Yeah, no spice, pretty PG. It's just like a rich people romance. It is Gossip Girl level messy and toxic and rich people, but there's no spice. Oh, Penelope Douglas is another good one. Okay, we need to start our next sprint because we've been talking for so long, and I'm so sorry. I was gonna try to get through. We'll catch up on the chat next break, but
Okay.
we're gonna do another 45 minutes. Happy sprinting, everyone. Hello, hello. How did everyone do? I think that Hannah maybe had to hop off. How did everyone do? I am absolutely obsessed with The Daughter of the Pirate King. This is so much fun. The banter is so good. I love the main character. If any of y'all have played Assassin's Creed Black Flag, that's what it's reminding me of. So I'm absolutely loving it. And I will try to catch up a little bit on the chat. We'll try to make this break a little bit shorter since we had such a long one last time. And then we'll do at least one more 45-minute sprint. So let me see where we left off. Has anyone read Cheshire? It was a spicy YA. Interesting. Alice in Wonderland themed meets Wednesday. No, I haven't read that. Gianna Darling's Antiheroes in Love Duet is good. Hi, Tammy. Thanks for joining. I have had Mafia Mistress on my KU for like a year. Oh my gosh, I have to read that one. It sounded so good. Hi, Emily. I'm currently at work, but I hope you're all smashing out sprints. Thanks so much for just popping into the chat. I'm reading a retelling. A retelling of what? I'm dying for Az's book. It's going to be so kinky. Yeah. Az and his wingspan. I need to know. I need to know all the things. Fried ice cream, hard and hot on the outside. Chill and sweet on the inside. That's such a good one. Yeah, Magnolia Parks is very Chuck and Blair messy level, but no spice. Hi, Daphne. Thanks for hopping on. Oh, thank you so much for hopping on. I know that you're probably not on anymore. I love this for you, Mary. I love it so much. Yeah, Nesta's a little freaky girl, and she likes to read spicy romance books. Like, she is just... Oh no, Hannah's power went out. Looks like the whole neighborhood. Hopefully it comes back on soon. Just finished The Housemaid, 4.5 stars. Love that. These sprints always end at spice. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. This will be a quick break, I promise, and then you can get back to the spice. Read 46 pages. I'm probably not going to sleep. How far into the book are you? You said last sprint you were at like chapter 19, so you have quite a ways to go. Honestly, I feel like you can rush through Akasef, but also like reading it a little bit more slowly and savoring it is really fun too. I think I read it over maybe a couple days and I was annotating it, and I loved it so much. Read 40 pages of Blood Mercy. I'm so happy you're obsessed with it. You're really making me want to read it. Really loving Ship of Bones and Teeth. I also really want to read that book as well. I feel like that's one that everyone's been talking about a lot lately. Everything died. It's going to be an hour before it's back on. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry, Hannah. You're reading on your phone though, so you should still be able to read, which is a vibe. Yes, so much pirating. Made and ate mac and cheese. I love this for you, Essie. Just under halfway. I'm at 26. I'm folding laundry, and I'll check after. Yeah, I was folding laundry earlier, and I was listening to What Lies Beyond the Veil, because I have that on audio, and that was super duper fun. I feel like with folding laundry, I always have to have an audiobook. Hannah and I were talking about that backstage before like our sprint started, and I was like, any house chores, I'm listening to an audiobook. But we can jump right back into the next sprint. If everyone would like to do that, we'll do another 45 minutes, because I know we took a really long break last time. I'm on page 92. I read a little under 50 pages that last sprint. I feel like I'm just flying through this. Like with YA fantasies, it's just, they're so easy to fall into, and they're so easy to read. I don't know if anyone else feels like that. This is also really reminding me of Fable by Adrienne Young, like Fable or Saint by Adrienne Young. Those are some of my favorite books, and they're also so piratey. And those were books that got me back into reading in 2020, so they have a special place in my heart. Yes. Okay, love this. Oh my god, yeah. Anything to make cleaning the bathroom better and more fun, absolutely. Or the dishes, yes. And lots of candies. Oh my gosh. Is it like raining or storming, Hannah, or did your power just go out? Oh, candles. Well, I hope that you have candies too. I love that about why it's super easy and fun to read. Yeah. Rereading Akamath on audio while working on my reading journal. Mariah, this is the vibes. Like, that is absolutely immaculate. The first time I read ACOTAR, I was just reading them physically. I wasn't listening to the audiobooks. But a couple months ago when I reread ACOTAR and Akamath, I listened to the audios and they were so good. I absolutely loved them. And then I also was listening to the Throne of Glass books on audio as well. The only thing is I haven't been able to find the audiobook for the next Queen of Shadows. I think that's the next book that I have, which is so sad because I don't have Audible or anything. I usually just get audiobooks through Libby, and I haven't wanted to like subscribe to Scribd. But you know when you're like listening to a series with the audiobooks and then you don't have one for like the next book in the series, it's like, this is a problem. Oh my gosh, that's so weird. I wish I had the patience for a physical reading journal. Notion is a vibe. My friend Val uses Notion to track her reading, and she makes it so cute. I just like doing it physically. Like, I've been doing my reading journal for the past 2 or 3 years, and I just love it. I find it so therapeutic. Like, I usually make it like an afternoon or a morning if I'm setting up like my monthly spread, and I listen to an audiobook, I listen to music, like jam out to Taylor Swift, and it really just helps to, I don't know, I just like relax and just vibe with my journal. But I really, really like Notion. My friend Bailey, if you're still in the chat, she uses one that she bought from Etsy, I think. It's like a digital journal that she does on her iPad, and those are super cute as well. Also, if anyone has done either a digital journal spread, a Notion page, like anything like that for Once Upon a Readathon, and you want to share it in the Discord or on your Instagram and like tag me, I will share it on my stories. I want to see all of them. I think that they're so fun and so cute. Yes, all the audio books and podcasts during house chores. I needed to clean my bathtub this weekend. Cleaning your bathtub is such a workout. Like, why? I used to track books in my journal, but I always forget. I admire people who can outside of Goodreads. I feel that. I usually will go a couple books and then update my journal all at once because I like doing it. I like doing more than just one at a time. I'm not really artistic and I'm a perfectionist, so it's a problem. I feel like you have to be okay with making mistakes for a physical reading journal. That's true. That's definitely true. There are ways to cover mistakes, and I find that when I make a mistake and I have to like get creative to cover it up or do something else, it's actually really fun. Yes, I digital journal, but I want to get back into physical journaling. It's also good to have a balance too. Like if you want to have a physical journal that you use sometimes and a digital journal that you use when you don't feel like physically journaling, that's fine. Absolutely. I also have this app called Read More that I use to track my reading religiously. Interesting. I haven't heard of that one. I've been trying to use Storygraph more this year. I religiously use Goodreads. I do all my reviews and stuff on Goodreads, but I like Storygraph because it gives you the graphs. And I also actually like the descriptions and like categorizations on Storygraph a little bit more than I like on Goodreads. And it also tends to have like more content warnings or like trigger warnings, I think, more readily available on Storygraph, but I've never heard of Read More. I'll have to look into that one. Although the spreads I've seen for the readathon make me want to get the supplies back out. Yes, I think you should. If you're pulled to doing that, I think you absolutely should. All right, perfect. We will get into our next sprint. This might be the last sprint because I do have to make dinner soon, but we will get into this last one. I'll pull this up. And I hope everyone has happy reading and a happy sprint. Hello, hello. How did everyone do? Sorry, I was just reading this. Is that good or bad? Because sometimes things that happen in books are pain. These were very productive sprints, y'all. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. That was the last sprint. So I am going to hop off because I'm going to make dinner, but let me know, how was that last sprint? How did you do overall? I read up to page 139. I'm like right at the end of a chapter, so I'm going to finish reading like this last page. But that was very productive. This book is so easy to read and it's so much fun and the banter is so good. I highly recommend, if you guys have Daughter of the Pirate King on your TBRs, prioritize it. It's super fun. I'm so happy that you're loving Akasef. That makes me just smile and want to cry tears of joy. Both good and bad. Oh my goodness. I read up to page 172 and still loving it. You are making me want to drop everything and read Blood Mercy. I think I was saving it for Vampathon, which is usually in like September or October. I think it's Vanilla Moon that does Vampathon, but I feel like I try to save a lot of my vampire books for Vampathon, and then I just have so many books to choose from, and then I get overwhelmed. So I might need to prioritize that sooner rather than later. 48 pages. I'm just under halfway. That is so stunning. Thank you all for joining. I had so much fun with y'all. I'm going to hop off now, but I hope that you have a wonderful rest of your night. And Maggie is doing sprints on her channel tomorrow. I think I will be able to join those. I know Hannah for sure is joining as well. She is my other team captain for Team Pirates, but any teams can join any sprints. We all just love hanging out and talking about books and reading together. So good night, my friends. Have a great rest of your night.